and today I'm going to show y'all how to hide the redness. I have a lot of redness. I have red spots, and also I'm gonna teach y'all how to cover up a pimple to make it appear smaller. Right now I don't have any pimples, but I hope y'all will understand the technique that I will be showing y'all. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So right now I don't have any big pimples, but I have a lot of redness. But to cover up a pimple, you just, let's say, I'm just gonna use my chin as an example. So if I had a huge zit on my chin, you would just tap on some concealer like that, and then you're gonna blend it out with your beauty blender, and make sure you don't press against the pimple. Just blend it out around it. Okay, so I just blended out around it. I made sure I didn't press onto the pimple, the imaginary pimple. But you could just go in with concealer, and if you don't want to use any foundation or anything, just to cover up that pimple, you could do that. But I have a lot of redness on my skin, so if it is a place like where I don't have redness, I would just do the concealer. But if it's not, then I would just put foundation on. But it's whatever y'all want to do. But if y'all don't have any redness like I do, y'all can just do the concealer and not wear foundation if you don't want to wear foundation that day. But for redness, you can contradict the color of the redness with another color. So when it comes to a red, when you have redness, you're supposed to use green. So I'm using the Bella Pure Cosmetics Pro Concealer Palette, and it comes with orange, green, purple. And what I don't like about this palette is that it smells like crayons, but it works. So you gotta make sure you don't use a lot. You have to make sure you use a little bit, because then when you do use a lot, it's hard to blend out. So I'm just using a little bit to cover up those red spots. I use medium coverage or full coverage foundation. It just all depends on what I'm feeling. So sometimes I don't even have to use this to cover up, but when you're using like a light coverage or sometimes a medium coverage with a beauty blender, it won't cover everything up. So you may need to use this. The orange one, you can use it for dark circles. The purple one, I forgot what it's used for. Let me see. It doesn't say. I forgot what the purple one is used for, because I have never needed it. I used to know what it was, but I forgot. I'm just gonna put some right here because I'm always red around here. My mom loves that my face has like redness around there, and I don't really like it. So when you do have redness, you can just cover it up with green concealer. And I'm just making sure I blend out all of it. You don't want to have like big patches of green, or whatever color you're using, because less is more. It's it's gonna be easier to blend out and it will cover. I'm going to put some on my nose because I have redness on my nose. Just gonna blend this out a little bit more. Okay. I look weird. Alright, I'm gonna use my brush. And the foundation I'm using is Fit Me Beauty in the shade 210. What am I saying? So I'm just covering all that up. Yeah, I don't see any redness, right? Because I don't. Does this have a mirror? I don't remember. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, see, I don't see any redness. Because when I use this foundation, sometimes those like red bumps that I have there, sometimes I can see them. It all depends. Like if I put one coat of this foundation, you can see it. But if I layer it up, you won't be able to see it. Now that it's getting hot outside, I'm getting a tan. My arms are so dark. Like, this is my tan from last year, so yeah, I'm just getting darker and darker. Even though I'm not that tan. I'm very, very pale. I'm a pale Mexican. So you don't see any red bumps. Ugh. I forgot to tell y'all, but the primer that I'm using is by Dr. Brandt, the Luminizer Primer. And for the other side, I'm going to use my Beauty Blender. And I did damp this Beauty Blender. And you know, Beauty Blenders take, Beauty Blenders absorb the foundation in, so I'm going to need to use more than just one coat over here. You can still see that. This foundation right here and this other one is the only ones that are my shade right now, because the other foundations I have, they're all too dark, because those foundations were when I bought those foundations when I was very, very tan. So I'm really upset that this is like this one and another one is the only ones that I can use. Oh, I made a mistake and got orange on my nail. I wiped it on my arm. But I'm very upset that this one and another one is the only ones I can use. It's the other one is the Huda Beauty foundation. But this foundation is the one that I reach for because I completely love it. Okay, you can see that this side looks a little bit more shiny than this side. This side, it does look like a matte finish. When you have a wet beauty blender, it adds moisture to your foundation, makes you look like this. That's why I prefer to use beauty blenders in the winter, because in the summer you don't want to have moisture in your foundation, because you don't want your foundation to move when you're like over there outside sweating in the hot days. So that's the way it looks, and it is soaking up my product. I don't really like using beauty blenders that much in the summer, so I'm just gonna finish off with my foundation foundation brush, because I just wanted to show y'all how it looks. You can see a little of the green tone under, so it's best to use the brush. Can y'all tell that this arm is darker than this one? The reason is because when I drive home from school, my that's when the sun is out the most at that time when I go home, so I just get a tan. I need to start using more of my sunscreen. You can tell that my face got a tan with this foundation. This foundation used to be a little bit darker than I was. Now I'm darker. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up off camera, because I really want to get around my eyebrows, but I don't want to mess them up. So that's how you get rid of your red marks. And to get rid of the redness of your pimple and make it appear smaller, just use the concealer. And you have to make sure the concealer is your shade, because you don't want it to be darker. This concealer is my shade. This concealer is by Maybelline, and it's in shade medium. So you don't see any red marks. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope y'all learn new tips from this video and you don't have any more redness to be ashamed of. Subscribe to my channel. I post twice a week about beauty, health, and lifestyle. Bye everyone!